Oh, you asked me, where'd Javon go? What happened to the Regular Guy podcast? Well, Javon's still around. He's here in spirit now. And that's all I can really say. My name is, we're going to call this show Around with Archie. It's a alter ego I've came up with. Who's Archie? Well, Archie, you may say, is an alter ego of Javon, right? Javon works from 9 to 5. He's a regular guy. You know, he went to school, did the whole bachelor thing, got some degrees. You know, does that corporate stuff. And then there's Archie, right? He loves art. He loves to go hiking. He loves music. He does jujitsu in his free time. He does a lot of things. Tries to travel a little bit when he has time. And he eats food. Loves food. So the reason why the little Regular Guy podcast is done and over with, nobody wants to listen to Javon ramble for an hour and a half about nothing, literally. So I decided, hey, I think it's my time to just have more of a concept, have more of a structure to a podcast, and have things that make sense versus just talking and wasting your lovable ears. So, with that said, I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to be here for the rest of the time. Third time's a charm, right? The first podcast was What Crazy People Think, which was, it was okay. And then there was a Regular Guy podcast, which was it. That was all right. Now we're here to Around with Archie. So, I hope you enjoy. I'm looking forward to being here for the rest of whatever. Okay? And that's the intro. Yeah, so I hope y'all have been great. I'm going to turn the TV on. I got Adventure Time playing on in the background. I need some white noise. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. Yeah, this is a new podcast, episode 1. The old episodes are still available. They'll be here forever, or whenever the internet decides to crash and I lose all my information. And that's fine. You know, I'm not really worried about technology like that. You know, I think we're better off in 1995. To be honest, you know, not even 1995. Maybe let's say 2000. Say 2012, right? We have Nokia and Kyocera cell phones. You know, the only game you got on there is chasing a snake. What is it called? Snake Run, right? It was a simpler time. You didn't know your friends were home or where your friends were unless you found a pile of bikes in front of someone's house. Then you're like, oh shit. Bobby and Kyle are at home. They're at James's house. I wonder what they're doing. Boom. I drop my bike off, knock on the door. James's mom is like, hey, Javon, how you doing? I got fucking cake. You want some cake? The boys are downstairs playing Def Jam Vendetta. How about you go down there? I'm like, okay. And then, boom, you see Bobby, Kyle, and James downstairs playing Def Jam Vendetta on the new PS2. Those are good old motherfucking days. Now look at us. Guys. I'm on Instagram every day, scrolling my stupid fingers, looking for new pictures. You know, trying to figure out, geez, what's this Instagram model doing? How's she been? Oh, she's living good. She's in Tahiti taking why'd I do that? I can't even say taking pictures in Tahiti. She's in Tahiti taking pictures, modeling for Instagram, you know? Or this guy and that guy. Look, they look super rich riding around in Ferraris, you know? And I'm over here chilling, living this life of mine. And I'm like, I have something to say finally. I hope. I don't know. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the intro. Regular Guy podcast is done and over with. Old episodes are still on, I think. I haven't actually checked, but, you know, we should be good. So I told you what I do. I do jiu-jitsu. I try to go to art shows when I have the time, art museums, art galleries. I hike when I can, and work out, gym stuff, and I go places and do things. So I want the podcast to be more about that, and I'll give you my unbiased opinion on certain current matters, just because I think that's where we need to go. There's no reason for me to talk about an hour of nothing, literally nothing. I don't know. So that's really what this podcast is about. So and what's jujitsu, you ask? My mother calls it taekwondo. I'll talk to my mother every other day, and she'll be like, "Oh, are you coming from taekwondo practice?" And I'm like, "No, Mom, it's not taekwondo. Stop calling it that. Taekwondo is different. It's about striking. This is Brazilian jiu-jitsu." And obviously, if you know a guy or a gal that does this shit, they're going to always talk about it, or they're going to be able to sneak it into a conversation. And then you're going to be like, fuck, I'm tired of being around this person because all they talk about is this stupid ass martial art that they're doing, and I don't even know what it is. And, it can be annoying. Now I understand what it's like to be a CrossFit guy or vegan, because this is literally all they fucking talk about is CrossFit and veganism. And, that's just what it is. But people ask me, not strangers. Strangers don't give a fuck about what I do with my life. But my friends, they'll ask me, they'll be like, "Hey, so you do jiu-jitsu now? Like, how is it? Is it a good workout? What have you learned from this stuff?" And I just told them straight up, man, I'm a white belt. I'm at the bottom of the barrel right now, trying to learn this shit. I've been going since July. I'm not going to tell you the academy I go to, just because I don't want to. And I've been learning a lot. I've been becoming more in tune with myself. I've been reading more, technically. I got like 6 audiobooks that I finished, and I feel on top of my game more than ever. And I was with my friend the other day, and I had a thought right before all this shit was going down. I need to move away. I live in Tacoma, Washington right now. It's a great town. Anything that you heard that's negative, it's bullshit. Tacoma is a great city. But I honestly think for myself, it's time for me to just get up out of here. And the goal is to move to Seattle and to just live. I got some peers out there, so I think it'll work out. And plus, I'll probably be in Tacoma often anyway, so it's not like I'm missing anything. But I just feel like there's more in a bigger city that's exploding at this point. So, and then I had this thought though, like, maybe I can stay in Tacoma forever. I don't know. It sounds good. The apartments here are cheap, but I've been in this motherfucker since ever, basically. Born and raised in Lakewood, Washington. Then I moved away to DC for a year. See what that was like. I love DC. Get mambo fries. Get mambo sauce with the chicken wings. Tell them that Javon sent you, and they look at you funny like, I don't know who that is. Just be like, hey, just know I'm a motherfucking customer. Give me the mambo sauce. And then they'll do it. And I got to go back there soon. I haven't been there since I left. But anyways, and then I came back, did this whole school thing, finished that up, and now I live in Tacoma. I live in the fucking weird part of Tacoma, though. And just been trying to figure this shit out, and I think I'm getting to it. I think it's time to go. So anyways, I told my friend, she lives in Bellevue, I was like, yo, if I ever sell you, I'm going to stay in Tacoma. I want you to slap me in my face and be like, no, you need to get the hell out of there and explore a little more, I'm on this huge kick right now to explore the United States. I've been traveling domestically like crazy. Not really like crazy. I'm on a plane at least maybe like 6 times a year, which is really nothing, but it's more than like regular ass people that don't really do too much, I went to Chicago this year, went to Hawaii, went to California a few times, and then my usual trip to Kentucky, visit my fam, whatever. But this jiu-jitsu shit for me, it's just, it's real nice, one of the big questions are simply like, do you have to go against people that are bigger and stronger than you, or people that are smaller than you, and things like that? And that's a part of the game. That's how you get better. I think of jiu-jitsu as a physical conversation, a physical intellectual conversation that you have with someone else, right? So let's say you're a white belt and you roll with a purple belt, right? That purple belt's smarter than you, no doubt about it. Ain't shit you can do unless it's on accident, right? And you have those conversations. During those conversations, you may learn something, right? Or they may learn something from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if I want to get in this position, I need to move this way. I can't get caught in that position, or I might get submitted and get choked out. And, just think about it, man. If you ever decide to join something like that. But I think of that like any other, think of that like any other activity that has you going against an opponent. You do the same shit with boxing, wrestling, karate, taekwondo, even regular MMA stuff. It's always it's a conversation between two individuals, and you just have to figure each other out. And then you take that, whatever you learn from that, and you put it in your package. In your package, you keep that in your little back pocket, and you keep it going, So, what got me into it, though, was, I was not always, but I was in situations where I'd feel like high tension situations, like, bar fights, or, I got friends talking shit to strangers, or vice versa, and I'm at a bar and, stuff might pop off, and I always felt like a little rattled, Like I was always afraid of, like, fuck, I don't want to be in these situations and not know how to protect myself if things actually go down. So that was one of the things, right, that got me going. Confidence, pretty much. And another thing was, I'm a huge MMA fan. I'm not like huge to the point where I know every fighter that's fighting ever, but I'll watch every UFC card. I know big name fighters at least. I know the upcoming guys' names at least. And I like to keep a lookout on the guys that are, doing numbers and making shit happen, And I felt like you can't be a fan of the sport unless you, try and train yourself and at least get the gist of it. Because what I don't like is a fan that hates the grappling aspect of MMA. Because when you got two individuals inside of this big ass cage, or wherever they'll do MMA at, their main concern is not losing, And I hate the point system. I don't like decision matches, but at the same time, it'll get to that point because some of these guys cancel each other out, and they're so worried about their strategy that they don't want to slip up and end up losing, right? So they leave it up to the judges, which sucks at this point, but at one day it'll be okay. But that's the thing, when folks is grappling and hand fighting, a typical MMA fan may not understand it. And luckily, I understood it, and I knew what was going on, and I just felt like I wanted to try and appreciate it a little more by joining this shit, right? So I went to a few classes at different gyms. This took like over a course of like a year and some change for me to figure it out. And plus, I had to budget it myself because these classes ain't cheap. Like there's places that'll do like on a drop-in basis or a punch card where you pay per classes, sort of like how hot yoga is at a lot of places. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted that unlimited monthly payment shit where like I can go to any class I want, as many times as I want. Don't have to worry about, paying when I come by and stuff like that. It just automatically comes out my account. So a lot of the classes, they'll run between, the limited classes, monthly shit, runs in between like $125 to like almost $200 per month, which I think is worth it as long as you utilize it, like anything. So luckily I utilize my membership and I've been going like crazy. I recently got a stripe, which really isn't a huge deal, but it's pretty cool because it means like, yeah, I'm a level up. Like I'm way better than some motherfucking Joe Blow that just got out here from the street, you know? That has no grappling experience, at least. So, but the goal right now, I want to get a blue belt within maybe a 2-year span. But the thing about it, there's no time frame. It's just whenever you're ready and you can show that you're way better than being in a regular ass white belt. You know what I'm saying? So it might take more than 2 years or so to get your blue belt. But anyways, yeah, so started taking classes and getting better at the craft and learning myself and learning style and figuring out my own style to work with. And just opened the doors to a lot of things and me being comfortable with myself and life, you know. Work was stressing me out for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, you know, I started this thing, and then I started getting into my audio books, and I feel more open. My mind is a little more clearer. I don't stress at all. Yeah, I mean, I do stress, but I don't stress as hard as I should be, or as hard as I used to be. Let's say that. Some of these books, I'll tell you some of these books actually that I've listened to. You probably heard of them because they're good books. Let me see. I just downloaded The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. It's a 3-hour audiobook. And then I'm listening to currently Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. And I recently finished Unfuck Yourself by Gary John Bishop. And I started out with The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is by Mark Manson. And it brings you back to perspective on things. And I think the whole ordeal about, you know, some of us is that we worry too much about things we have no control over. And then the things that we have control over, sometimes we overstress it. And we just have to get into a position where it's just like, you know, I'm trying my best. And I want to learn, and I'm learning. And if nothing is at stake, and I feel like I'm doing fine, and I'm getting better at what I do, then I have no worries, you know? That's just what it is. That's just what it is, man. What else I got, man? So, for any of you that want to try jiu-jitsu, try it out. If you want to try something else, try it out. Just simply put, you know, when it comes to activity, that's the main purpose. We are human beings, you know, we have these bodies that we use. You know, the last thing a person should want to do is to be a couch potato and just be just existing, you know. That's the thing I have a problem with some people, is that they just choose to just exist rather than putting effort towards something that has their interests, you know. Life is too short, and I don't want anyone to feel regret. Like, damn, I never took the chance on this. I never took the chance on that because of this. I was too lazy. I was too afraid to fail, or it's too hard. It's too stressful. But overall, I think the benefits of it is to at least try and figure out if you like it or not. And then if you don't like it, then it's on to the next thing. But I feel like everybody's body should be active. Either you're into hiking or martial arts, or you like going to art shows, or you like to go to poetry slams. That's not even activity. What the fuck am I talking about? I mean, like a thing, like exercise. You know, Soul Cycle is a big thing. You could be a fucking yogi, you know. Things like that. You can go running outside or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying, fitness and health and wellness is it's pretty important. You know, especially if you want to make your body last as long as you possibly can. But if you're the type of person that's just a freaking negative wreck, and your whole thing is, oh, I don't care, I just want to live and have fun and do all the shit that's bad for me, then yeah, I mean, good luck to you. That's not what I want to do, and I hope a lot of other people decide to, you know, make that change. It's about 2 weeks into New Year's, and so I know a lot of y'all just started getting them new gym memberships in. So Stick to it. If you don't like the gym, there's other things that you can do. Remember that. So, with this jiu-jitsu thing, I got two tournaments coming up. I got one in February and one in March. I got a total of 6 that I want to do. So even win or lose these first 2 tournaments, I'm still gonna do the additional 4 this year and just see where it goes. The first one is called the Revolution. No, the first one's called Proving Grounds. The Proving Grounds tournament is a sub-only tournament, which is submission only. At this point in my jiu-jitsu career, my submissions are trash. The only reason why I'm even doing this tournament is just because I just want to do it. In class, I can get folks in some arm bars and things like that, but I just really want to just compete. I have a desire to compete, and that's that. And then there's the Revolution. The Revolution's another tournament. It's a lot bigger. They hold that tournament down at like a college campus, and that's a points tournament. So you get points for sweeps, submissions, things like that, you know. And these are all Washington-based tournaments that happen 3 times per year. So there's 3 Proving Grounds tournaments and 3 Revolution tournaments. And yeah, I'm gonna try and do all 6. Call it a day. See what happens. Tell my mama about it. And the ultimate goal is just to be able to just stay competing, and then maybe go to Pan American tournaments, and travel and do that shit. But we have to figure out these first 2 tournaments first before I actually can find out if it's even worth me trying to get out there. For those of you that may already do jiu-jitsu or thinking about it or things like that, one thing my professors told me is that it's you roll with everybody. There are some places that don't want you to roll with black belts and, things like that. But where we go, I roll with black belts. I roll with freaking brown belts, purple belts, blue belts, white belts, everybody. And it gets you better, man. It makes you better just to roll with everybody because, like I said, you get that conversation. And my favorite people to roll with, I like to roll with chicks, right? Only because, like, you can't use your strength. You can't use brute strength on women. It's just, in jiu-jitsu, it's rude. It's rude as fuck, right? Unless she's strong as hell. Like, if you're going against, what's her name, Gabrielle Garcia, then, it's going down, She's like 6'3", 260, it's going down if we're going to have to freaking roll, right? But just chicks in general, because it helps me personally focus more on technique. And that's my main purpose, is just to make sure my technique is down. And that's one thing I've been having trouble with, is because I'm just so used to using force and strength and power where you'll lose technique. And if you're in jiu-jitsu and you don't got technique down, then you're going to have a hard time. So that's what I've been working with. So not saying women are weak, but like there's been times where I almost got choked out by a female because my technique was fucked up and they obviously had better technique than I did, and shit was not fun. So just overall though, health and wellness is the key. All right. So what I want to say about that is just find an activity that you like. Don't be the person that sits around and shits all day, because the world's gonna always move, right? So you might as well move with it. You know what I mean? And speaking of moving, so I went to Hawaii, right? I wanted to roll in Hawaii when I was out there, but I just didn't have enough time because we were out there for like 5 days, and we were in Maui. And my purpose was to do as much shit as I can in those 5 days. The gist of this trip was, it was a work trip, sort of. The company I work for, we hit this cool, crazy goal that we set. And if we hit that goal, then a whole squad plus a plus one was going to get flown out to Hawaii. Trip paid for, hotel paid for. Only thing we had to worry about was if we wanted rental cars and spending money. So I took my mom with me, and we went to Maui, right? And I just wanted to make sure I was out in the sun like a motherfucker. That was the purpose. Purpose was to be far away from the resort as possible and to just explore the island. And like there was a lot of things that I tried to get into. So I mean, I took my mom with me to Waihe Ridge Trail. So the way this started out was there's the Aiel Valley State Park. They had a bunch of trails that I was trying to, get on. But I guess recently they had a huge rainstorm that went down, and the whole trail, like the whole park, got washed out. So they shut down like 80% of the park. And like there's like one little part that you can walk up to, and then that's it. There goes your hike. You paid $5 to park here, and then you can only be here for 10 minutes because there ain't shit else here to do. So that was a bust. Luckily, I had phone service, and about 15 minutes away, there was the Waihe Ridge Trail. Right, it's a total of 4 miles. Right, 2 miles up, 2 miles back. So it's not a big circle. It's a down and back hike. We hiked up that joint. Well, first of all, you drive up there. You're on the main road, and then you hit the little gate that takes you to the opening. That takes you to the parking lot. That street is like a half mile, one lane road basically, to get to this parking lot. And it's pretty sketchy when you're driving because, if you don't have a small vehicle, then you gotta figure out how to get past oncoming cars. So luckily, I only had to deal with like one car, and we were both small cars. So we just kind of squeezed on by each other. And, you make it to the parking lot. It's a gravel parking lot with two honey buckets. And so one thing about Hawaii, it's about 80 degrees out there during this time. And I was like, I don't want nothing to do with them honey buckets, because I know hot honey buckets, them shits is terrible, man. You ain't ever been nowhere until you've been in a hot honey bucket, because it smells like just hot, nasty. So, anywho. So I start with my mom. We go hiking. We start walking. Yeah, technology is a motherfucker. My mom has Facebook now, and she loves that shit. And so she's over here taking pictures of shit and starts trying to post it on Facebook. Now, we're in an area where cell service is limited. So what happens is she starts walking hella slow. Not even doing nothing. Just watching her phone, trying to upload these photos she just took, right? And I'm like, look, man, you ain't got no service out here. That pictures ain't gonna upload. Like, not right now. You might have to wait till we get back to the hotel. And, I got my camera on me, and I'm taking pictures and shit. But the thing about having a DLSR on you is that you just point and shoot, especially on automatic, and you going right on your way. And that was my whole thing. I was gonna take pictures, and I was just gonna upload them later. My phone was in my pocket. We was good. And then, so my mom's holding us up, walking like half a mile per hour. Hella, I don't even know if half a mile per hour is even fast or slow. Anyway, she was just walking, taking her time. And I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? She goes, oh, I'm on Facebook trying to post this picture. I'm like, hey, them pictures they're not gonna upload out here. So, boom, 5 minutes later, still taking a hell of a long time trying to get up these hills. And I'm like, dude, you need to get off your phone. She was like, I can't. I gotta do this thing. I gotta post my Facebook stuff. And I'm like, all right. So I snatched her phone and run off. I did that to my own mother. Had to take her phone. I ran off. Right? Put it in my pocket. Zipped it up. She was like, you need to give me my phone back. I'm like, no, I don't. She was like, well, it's my phone. I'm like, I don't care. Like, you holding this up, because all you're trying to do is do this damn Facebook stuff. Who cares? You can go back. Once we're done with this hike, you can upload whatever you want to upload because we'll have Wi-Fi. Whatever. She had a hard time about it for like 10 minutes. And then after that, all of a sudden, she loved the hike. And that was great. So we enjoyed the rest of the hike. We got to the top. Well, we got halfway to it. There was a part where there's these stairs that you go up. And the stairs were so narrow, it just looked like if the wind blew you a certain direction, you're just going to fall off the mountain. And there goes you. But I had my mom stay back for a second. I was like, hold on, I'm going to have you stay back, and I'm going to check this out real quick. So she stayed back. I ran up the stairs, went down maybe like 200 meters, and then it looked flat. It looked safe after you passed those stairs. So I went back, got my mother, made sure she made it up the stairs without falling over. And then we got up all the way to the top. And then there was this cool little lookout point. Looked at some mountains, saw some helicopters. They got some crazy helicopter tours out there. And then took some pictures and shit, and we walked back down. Because that's what you do when you hike. You walk up 2 miles, then you walk back down. Because you ain't got shit else to do. So we did that. What else did we do? This is a span of like 3 days. Because the first day was like traveling and then kind of got there late. And then the last day we were there like half the day. So we just kicked it really. And then so Saturday morning we went to Halikala, which is a crater up in Hawaii. So when somebody tells you that you can be in 40-degree weather, blistering cold in Hawaii, you don't want to believe them. You need to take your ass up to about 8,000 feet in the air, 8,000 feet above sea level. And it'll definitely change your whole perspective on this mountain shit. So we got up at like 3 in the morning. We drove about, I think this thing was like an hour and a half away. So woke up at 3 in the morning, drove about an hour and a half, had no coffee, no nothing. Drove up to the crater. It was hella sketchy because it was a 2-lane road, but like there was no barriers on the side. And the thing that I noticed up here in Washington State is that when you're hiking or when you're driving in the mountains and you get to a part where it's kind of like no walls on or kind of like a drop off on the side of the road, they'll have like barriers up so you don't fucking die, But these motherfuckers didn't have no barriers. So I was just kind of like, okay. I was a little rattled, but it's all right. So we got up to the top of that thing, get out the car. I'm wearing shorts and a freaking hoodie. And then I'm just like, I'm about to die out here, man. Everybody else is in winter clothes. I fucked up. My mom bought jeans. She was in jeans and a big old coat. I brought a damn hoodie, my camera, and damn cargo shorts, looking like a fucking nerd. And I waited for a damn sunrise. So it started coming up around 6:40, and then I got my pictures. And then I think the most cliche shit in life occurred like 3 times there. I think like 3 people got engaged up there, which honestly I'm not even hating, but I feel like the most corniest shit is doing engagements when you're on trips and stuff, or when you're like out in the wilderness, like hiking, or like a sunrise, or just like a group of people doing doing shit that everybody does. So you know what I mean? This dude asked this chick to marry him during the sunrise in fucking Hawaii. Like, oh, this is so fucking cute. Like, no, that shit is fucking corny as fuck. Corny as fuck. I apologize, but I'm just saying that shit is corny. I'm not gonna do it. When I ask my baby mama to marry me, I already know how it's gonna go down. I'm gonna be at a baseball game, right? Manners game. Now, people, they do it at Manners games, but I think it's different when you do it at a sporting event because hella more people, for one. Two, you have to pull some strings to actually make it happen if you're not just going to do it in the middle of the fucking line in the concession stands, you know? Like, there's some people that just do it, put it on the big screen, call it good, and shit gets crazy. So you have to talk to some people. You have to plan stuff, you know what I mean? Versus, this is sunrise, and I'm in Hawaii, so I'm just going to ask this girl to marry me in front of these people and kids. You know, too easy. It's too fucking easy. If I'm not gonna ask you to marry me in the middle of a fucking park or like some random moment where you expect it the least, then I'm not gonna do it, you know. So, yeah, shit's corny as fuck. But anyways, so we did that, and then I don't even think we had breakfast yet, cause that same day, I don't even know if I even had coffee yet. Yeah, I did. That same day, we drove back from the crater after we got the sunrise at Halikala. And then after that, we went ziplining at North Shore Ziplining. We got there a little early. I was dying, slowly but surely. We found a corner store, luckily, that had fresh pots of coffee, Gatorade, and a protein bar. So I bought my ass a protein bar. I got a Gatorade, and I got myself some coffee, and it was funny as hell because the lady at the cash register, I was wearing a Seattle hoodie, and she asked me, she goes, "Are you from Seattle?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm from Seattle." Obviously I'm not, but that's what you tell people when you're out of town because they don't know what the fuck a Tacoma is. So I said, "Yeah, I'm from Seattle." They're like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm from Portland." And I'm like, "Whoa, you're from fucking Portland and you live here?" She goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What made you come out here?" She was like, "Oh, some boy." I'm like, "Oh, well, shit." And then she almost broke into like telling me her life story and like how like their relationship they might not last. And I'm just like, "Yeah, see, you did some shit that I don't do, and I'm not moving fucking 5-hour flight away to live with somebody, and based off the way you're saying it, it seems like you guys kind of knew each other not that long. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna date somebody in a different state, especially that far away, we're gonna do this long distance shit. If long distance don't work, then hey, that's it. But that's my whole style. You know, like, we're gonna do this long distance shit for a while, and we're gonna do that visiting back and forth type of thing. You know, do some, okay. Oh yeah, you live in California? Well, guess what? I'm gonna come to California in a couple weeks. Oh, I live in Washington. No, yep, you gonna fly up here. You can stay with me for a couple days or whatever, and so on and so forth. And maybe do a couple of trips like somewhere else. You guys meet somewhere cool. Like, oh, hey, you want to meet in Alaska and go on a fucking cruise? And, shit like that. You know what I mean? Because I think you get to know people the best when you're on vacation. But anyways, so she told me she's from Portland, moved down here for some boy. And I'm like, well, hey, good luck to y'all. I'm out this motherfucker. And I left. And we went ziplining. And the ziplining thing was kind of dope because it was my mother's idea. She was like, I got this bucket list. And I'm like, okay, what's on it? She's like, I want to go ziplining. And I'm like, okay, let's go ziplining. I'll even pay for it. She was like, yup, let's go. So we found North Shore Ziplining out in Maui, which is, if you're by the airport, it's on basically the east side of the island. It's east of the airport by Haiku, which is maybe like 15-20 minutes from Paia town, which is probably the most poppin' ass town in Maui. But so we went ziplining. We did 7 lines. It was pretty fun as hell. My mom was rattled up until the end, which was cool. Had a good ass time though. The thing about ziplining is that it's weird. Like you're either gonna be scared the whole time or you just let go. And I just let go of that motherfucking shit. Because I was just like, you know what? We're about 20, 40 feet in the air. if this thing does break, fuck it, fuck it. I'm not gonna die. I might run into a tree and get fucked up, but I'm not gonna be dead. So let's have fun. And so we ziplined, did that thing, and then we went out to lunch. The food out there, man, Hawaiian food is crazy. Let me tell you that. I don't know what's so good about it, but this shit is good. I don't know how it's good, but it is good. So we went, first of all, though, half of this trip was my mom's trip. She wanted to go to she had all this stuff she wanted to do. It wasn't actually not even a lot of things. She had 3 things that she wanted to do. Those 3 things were, she wanted to go to the damn Apple or ABC store, which is like a Hawaiian corner store. Okay. She wanted to go to Bubba Gump's, which is a fucking chain restaurant. You can go to one in California. And then ziplining. So my mom, she can be like a super tourist. And like whenever I travel, we're total opposites. Whenever I travel, I just like to do the local shit. I'm not going nowhere and going to damn Applebee's. You know what I mean? Just because, no. I'm going to the local spot that's popping out here, and that's it. But anyways, so we went to Paia Town, and we went to 2 restaurants when we were out there, because we went to Paia Town like 3 times. And Paia Town is like, we stayed at the West End at Kaanapali. So Kaanapali is at the very northwest of Maui, right? And then Paia Town is basically like the center of Maui in a sense, just in the north. And so we go, the first day we go and get, we go to this place called Cafe de Amis. Cafe de Amis. Desamis? I don't know. It's a Mediterranean restaurant. I love Mediterranean food, right? I love that shit. I love that shit. So we go there. My mom, she orders a crepe. It was like a chicken, bunch of good ass shit in theirs. And then I just got a basic ass beef and mushroom curry, spicy curry with the brown rice and the green sauce. And it's probably the best curry I've ever had from a Mediterranean restaurant, because I feel like a lot of places, when a lot of Mediterranean places, some of them, they'll try and do too much. Like they'll try and put too much in their curry. And it's just like, I don't want all this shit in there. Like this curry was literally meat and sauce. Excuse me. And some mushrooms. And they didn't put no razzle dazzle on it. And my rice, I mixed it all together as I should. Had a nice little porter. Had a Maui Brewing coconut porter, which is fucking phenomenal. And like I give that place like an 8 out of 10. Like the only downfall about that place is sometimes birds be flying in that motherfucker, and I'm not really into birds flying around in a restaurant, but like it wasn't even like their fault though, because there's these badass kids feeding the birds in the restaurant. So obviously we moved tables because I ain't got time for that shit. So badass kids, Anyway, so we got there, we ate there twice. That was the first day, and like the second time we were out there, we she got, what did she get? She got a crepe again, but she got like a spinach crepe, and that crepe was still bomb too. And then I got a seafood combination soup. That joint was fahim. There was shrimp in it, had some potatoes in it. There was I think some lobster in it, some scallops in it. It was a red sauce, and then like they gave you a side of bread. Let me tell you, man, like that was probably the best restaurant like I've been to in like a year or so. Presentation was cool, waitresses was cool, service was great. The only thing was them damn birds, but other than that, food was phenomenal. Like it was seasoned to perfection. You know what I mean? And there's another place we went to called Flatbread Pizza. What was funny about that place is that the first day we went to the Cafe de Amis place, We sat next to this group of guys. I was talking to this random ass dude from California. I was like, yo, where you from? Like, he was talking to us, making jokes and shit. And I was like, where you from? He's like, I'm from LA, or I think San Francisco. He said, I'm from San Francisco. I moved out here to go surfing and shit. And I've been out here ever since. And my buddies that are with me, the guys who sitting next to, he goes, you know, they own this restaurant over here called Flatbread Pizza. You guys should check it out. And I'm like, all right, we'll check it out. That's the only reason why we like heard about this place. So we checked it out. Their pizza menu is phenomenal. Now, I have a secret obsession with pizza, right? I'll say, man, I don't want no damn pizza. I'm tired of pizza. That same night, I'm eating pizza. Matter of fact, last night I had pizza. Like, that's how much I like pizza, and I don't like saying I like pizza. I'm like a heroin addict that doesn't like being judged of my heroinism, you know? So, we go to Flatbread Pizza. We got like one of those half and half pizzas. My mom got regular ass pepperoni, and I got this barbecue pork pizza, and that shit was fantastic. There was pineapples in it, barbecue pork in it. Instead of red sauce, I obviously used barbecue sauce, and I mean that shit was it was great, man. It was the way they cooked it was brick oven style. So it was really crispy. That's my favorite style of pizza. No, it's not. My favorite style of pizza is New York pizza for sure, because I like big ass slices. But there's some places that fuck it up. But anyways, this place was fantastic. Flatbread Pizza in Paia Town. They have hella different combinations. It's one of those type of pizza places, though. It's not like a regular ass pizza place, but they do give you the option of creating your own type of pizza. So if you want a boring ass pepperoni and mushroom pizza, you can make one. So and then obviously when I was out there, you got to get the shave ice, right? It's not called shaved ice, it's called shave ice with the condensed milk. If you're not getting condensed milk on your shave ice, then guess what? You're not living. So I got that thing like 3 times when I was out there, man. I love shave ice. I went to this spot called Toby's, same town. Fantastic shave ice. And that was it, you know. We was in Paia Town, did a bunch of hiking. We went to a luau at the Hyatt Museum, at the Hyatt Hotel, which was like a 10-minute walk from our hotel. That was cool. But I'm going to tell you something about these luau's, man. I'm not really into luau's just because it's just the whole cultural thing kind of messes with me. It's like, damn, we came all the way to Hawaii, basically forced their queen to sign papers over to the United States so we can own the land, and then all we did with it was put an army base on it or put a military base on it, and we used it as a place to do our vacations and shit. And they were just chilling before we came along. That's all they were doing, just chilling. You ever go to Oahu, where Honolulu is? Like, you have the city life, and then you can go to the part where it's just folks from the town. And like, you'll see signs and things like that up saying like, keep this shit natural, man. Like, don't be putting McDonald's up here. We don't want that shit. We want, you know, we like it the way it is. So it's just kind of crazy to think about. So I don't feel too good when I'm going to a luau watching these freaking islanders, Polynesians, freaking dancing and shit, you know, just for our pleasure, basically. But at the same time, they're showing us the culture and like how Hawaii and all these other nations or other islands came about. So, and like what they do, you know, as a tribe and shit. And let me tell you, man, I hated how beautiful these women were that were the hula girls. Like, they were all fine as hell. Like, I was at the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to send my mom back on this flight. I'm not coming back. I'll find a new job. I'm going to start a new life. I'm going to date one of these hula girls. I'm going to have 6 kids, and that's it. I'm going to have a bunch of kids, and I'm just going to live my life. But, you know, obviously I can't do that. But it sounds good. I might do that in my second life if I have one. So we'll see. Maybe when I'm 40 years old, if I'm still single, you know, I'm going to cash out I'll cash out on my 401k, take my black ass to Hawaii, never come back. Find myself a little Hawaiian girl, be like, hey, how old are you? Oh, you 30? You ain't got no kids yet? No? We're going to have 6 right now. We're going to have 2 sets of triplets. But anyways. But yeah. So, they were fine as hell. And the funniest thing about the whole situation at that luau is that my mom, she wanted me to take a photo with one of the hula girls after the show. She's like, Javon, you need to go and take a picture. Take a picture of one of the hula girls. And I'm like, fuck no. I literally said that. I know it's really not good. It's frowned upon to cuss in front of your mom. But I literally said, fuck no, I'm not doing that. Because you think about it like this, people. Think about it like this. You're a single man. You take your mother to Hawaii to kick it, hang out. You single as fuck with your mom at a luau, right? And then all of a sudden you want to ask this girl, can I take a picture with you? Here, mom, here's my camera. No, I'm not doing that shit. I told her that. I'm not doing that shit. Oh, why do you care so much about being judged? I said, Mom, I got too much dignity to be asking for photos while I'm with my mom in Hawaii. That's what creeps do. The only people that do that type of shit is people that like to smell hair in their spare time. I don't have fucking time for that shit, Mom. So no, I'm not taking no fucking picture with no hula girl with my mom standing in the background. Not doing it. You just can't. It's like it's like a lonely thing to do, I feel like. Cause like, what am I gonna do with that damn picture? I'm gonna post it on social media. Oh, me and the hula girl in Hawaii. Like, no, I'm not doing that. No. That's the silliest shit I ever heard in my life. No, it's not. I heard plenty of silly shit, but I told my mom, I was like, I'm not doing that shit. I got too much dignity and too much pride in myself to ask a hula girl to take a picture. And it's fucking weird. I'm not a loser. I repeat, I'm not a loser, quote unquote, at the mirror every morning when I wake up. And if I do that, if I take a picture with that hula girl and you're holding the camera and I'm with my mom in Hawaii, let me tell you, I'm taking like a dozen steps back. I'm not doing that to myself. So, but I mean, overall though, man, moms are underrated. That's another thing too. I feel like we don't talk about our moms enough. We don't appreciate our mothers enough, you know. I have 2 moms too, which is cool. And she's not gay. My mom's not gay, hasn't married another girl. But I got 2 moms because my father, he married twice. He did this thing called, they did this thing where you get a divorce and then you get remarried. So my dad married another lady. She's dope as fuck too. She is my mom, another mom. So I got 2 moms. I got my regular mom and I got my stepmom. And then they both helped me out during some crazy shit. And so I'm just trying to say is that moms are underrated. Like here's some examples, man. I was 21 years old, right? Damn, I was 21 years old. Either 21 or 22. I don't even remember anymore. But my stepmother bailed me out of jail. I did some silly ass shit. I was dating this girl, right? It was a very, I feel like this has been talked about in previous podcasts, but I'll tell you again. I was dating this girl. It was a really high stress relationship. And then it just got bad. And when you date certain individuals and then their characteristics kind of start to slide off onto you, you start doing crazy shit. And I was doing crazy shit when I was dating her. And and some of that stuff kind of still lingered. But then so you kind of just got to catch it and just figure your shit out and just be like, hey, I'm not ever going to go down that path again. But anyways, we got into some shit where your boy ended up in jail. Crazy ass argument. Nobody got hurt or anything, but I was in jail for a night. Got a nice little couple misdemeanors on my record, but neither here nor there. I'm doing fine now. But yeah. So I was supposed to be in jail for 30 days. Luckily, I was only in jail for like a day. My stepmother bailed my black ass out. Shout out my moms. Thanks for bailing me out of jail. Because if it wasn't for you, I'd be in that motherfucker for 30 days. And I'd be scared. So I was in jail. She bailed me out. And then there was a point in time where, like, I was on the stupid struggle, right? At an apartment and shit like that. And my mom, my regular mom, she was just like, I can help you out. So my mom actually pulled up and, helped your boy pay rent a few years back. And super appreciative of that, because of that, if I didn't have that, I don't know, my shit would have been out in the street. My regular mom lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, so it just wouldn't have worked. It just would have been super bad. But luckily, I have parents that work hella hard, and some of your parents, the last thing they want to see you do is struggle. So while I was job hunting and shit like that, my mom held me down for like a month. Obviously, I paid that money back. I think I paid it all back, so it's all good. So it's just like that, when you're young and you're still trying to get yourself established, you gonna fucking trip and fall sometimes. But I mean, as long as you got people that hold you down, then I mean, that's one thing to be appreciative for, and I'm super grateful for it, because there's some people that have been in the same positions I've been into, but they just didn't make it out, and shit just went fucking haywire. But those type of people, I feel like they become stronger than me, and I can never be, because there's some people that could that succeeded from really having their backs against the wall and not having no other resources to help them out, So that's cool. My mom was cool. Both of my moms is hella cool. But the one thing about my moms is that their advice is a little shoddy. It's funny as hell. I mean, the best thing about them is that they at least listen. But then once they try and give you some advice, my moms at least, when they try and give you some advice, I'm going to pause this real quick. All right. So I had to pause it. My laptop was dying. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Their advice gets a little shoddy at times. And, yeah, I mean, I do appreciate their ears, but, you just can't. Sometimes you just gotta be like, all right, thank you for listening, but I'm gonna try my best to take it from here. And it was funny, like, for instance, I went to jail for when I was dating this girl, because I did some dumb shit, and I went to jail, blah blah blah. A few years later, me and this girl, we ended up being kosher again, like being friends and stuff, and like we would go out every now and then and like get maybe drinks or get coffee and shit, just catch up, right? And I told my mom about it. I was like, yeah, I'm seeing, me and what's her face been hanging out again, just trying to catch up, just because you tell your mom stuff every now and then, it's all good. And she goes, you're still single, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still single. Like, I'm not really like looking around or nothing. She goes, you and so-and-so should get back together. I said, what? She said, yeah, like you guys, if you guys are making it work now and hanging out, like you guys should, maybe try again. And I said, fuck no, Mom. What are you talking about? Like, you're telling me that 5-6 years ago, I was dating this girl. My ass went to jail for some shit because of our situation, and you want us to start dating again? She goes, yeah, it won't hurt. I said, no. And then literally a week later, me and homegirl got into an argument at a fucking restaurant, and I ain't talked to her since. So I told my mom, I was like, see, no, I ain't doing that shit. My thing, I don't like doing, and I've done this shit a couple times now. I don't date and then break up and then date that person again in the future, because if it didn't work the first time, it ain't gonna work the second time. I remember there's this one chick I was like on and off with for like a year, and it was like maybe like 3 years ago, and sometimes you just gotta realize that shit ain't gonna go nowhere, and you just gotta stop the back and forth. But the issue about that girl is that her butt was way too big for my own good, and I just had to keep coming back. I'm a fucking idiot. So, anyways, but the gist of it was that, I mean, my mother's, they're optimistic. That's nice, you know. But I think the main goal that they have is that they want your boy to have grandchildren. And I don't want grandkids. I don't want kids at this point in time. But what's funny is that whenever I'm around them, they always slip in the fact like, oh, it'd be so nice. It'd be so nice if you had some kids. I want you to have some kids. When you gonna find a girl so you can have some kids? I'm like, I don't know when that's gonna happen. I'm not really focused on that right now. But it sounds nice. But I'm sorry, but this shit ain't gonna go down anytime soon, moms. But I feel like I'm not the only one that has this pain. They just want your boy to have children. And I mean, it's this and that. That's it. And it's funny because it's like they agree on that one thing. They want Javon to have children, but my stepmom, my mom, they're like complete opposites, which I find hilarious because my mom, she's like not affectionate. She's like just now trying to give me hugs and shit, and I'm like, don't hug me. This is weird. Like I haven't got a hug since until I was like 24 years old by my real mom. Now, it's not a problem or anything. I'm not like, oh, I wish my mom hugged me more. Oh, I hate my mom. No, it's not nothing like that. It's just she grew up in a type of household. It was the same way. Like they didn't like, fuck you hugging me for, bro. Like it was like that. So she kind of just didn't really mess with that stuff too often. So it was always really weird when she wanted to like give me a hug and, you know, be all like, you know, shit was bad. Be like, oh, I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. Like that actually has recently been going down, which is great, you know. But then my stepmom be hugging and shit all the time. And I'm, you know, it's really hard for me to get used to. I mean, she's been my stepmom for 24 years now, and I'm still not used to all the hugs and all that stuff. But I appreciate it nonetheless. And it's just funny, man. I hate hugs. Shit's weird. Like the only thing I'm hugging is my pillows when I go to sleep. That's it. That's the life I live. It was just, that's it. That's all I can tell you. Appreciate your moms. So appreciate your moms. Some moms are pretty badass. Like my mom that I took with me to Hawaii, it was her idea to go zip lining, and she's 50 years old, and that was probably the hardest shit she could have ever told me. And when my dad came up to visit a bit ago, I took him to Mount Rainier, and it's cool to be in a position now as an adult to take your parents to do certain things that they've never even done before, which is crazy. Like my mom has never been to Hawaii. I took her to Hawaii. My dad has never been to Mount Rainier. I took him to the mountains. It just feels cool. And like they appreciate that shit a lot. So appreciate your motherfucking parents is what I'm trying to tell you. And I'm gonna leave it with this, man. Just, you know, try new activities. If you go out to Maui, make sure you kick it in Paia Town. They got good ass food. Travel outside of mainland America when you can. On my next plan is to go to Alaska. I don't know when I'm going to go to Alaska. I have to figure out when it's sunny there and not dark for 18 hours a day. So, or before World War III goes down, because that might go down pretty soon. Who knows? And appreciate your moms, man. I hope you enjoyed the first podcast for Around with Archie. Arrivederci. Arrivederci.